Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the Ahsoka. What do we have? The Ahsoka Tano's T-6 shuttle. So this is a larger ship out of the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron. I'm trying to say this correctly because to me it's still the Galoob action fleet, but because it's all done by Hasbro had bought out Galoob many years ago. Here we are. So it's that shuttle that they were using in the Ahsoka series, obviously. The nice thing I will say about what they're doing with this series, the Micro Squadron or Micro Galaxy Squadron, let me say this correctly, right? Is the size of these ships are a lot bigger than what we had ever gotten with Galoob. Galoob was trying to stay down towards a smaller size or whatever. And with the shuttles and everything else, that was in some regards kind of the problem because we're trying to keep things in a very small size. And in this, because this is a larger craft and character-wise, we have a cockpit. Now, if I can remember how to open it, it opens this way and goes forward. We have enough room in here that we have three characters, and there's enough room for a fourth character to sit there. Now, out of here, we do have Sabine, we have Ahsoka, and I do not remember the droid's name. And we got to see that droid originally in the Clone Wars when they were taking care of training some of the kids. And there's a little droid in here that's essentially just legs, but there's no real head on there. So, and it's kind of stuck in the back, and they don't have anything to pull it out with. But the fact that we have a cockpit that's now big enough that we can have four figures in there is really kind of nice. And as we look around, this all moves. So I don't know why they have it this way. It's almost, to me, it almost resembles a fish with the wing up here like this. I don't know who the manufacturer was of this offhand. Being a newer vessel, I don't know all the extra stats on this, so I do apologize as far as that goes. It's one of those things I really have not looked it up to try and go for that. But I am trying to just kind of cover, if you look at this as a toy to get your kids, I think this was about $30. It is fairly hefty. It is nicely put together. This wing was separate, and you actually do snap it together. And then everything else is all here and all ready to go. So trying to keep this in focus with my phone here. Okay, so as we look it over, we do have a tail gunner, and this does open up sideways. So you can get a figure sitting in there, and then you can kind of close that up. This does kind of go up and down just a little, not very much. It goes down just a little bit more than it does go up. But it does have a little bit of a play feature there. So that's kind of nice. And then as we flip this over, we do have a boarding ramp that comes down. And I'm going to get this just out of the way so I can kind of move a little bit more here. My pool table is full of stuff because of everything else going on. So unfortunately, I can't just do this on my pool table. So here I'm doing this upstairs. So we do have a boarding ramp that does come down pretty nice. And then we can put that up. And then we do have landing gear that snaps out. And then when we land, it lands standing straight up without the landing gear down, which you could do, but unfortunately, it has nothing to hold it, so it flops on one side or the other. Okay. Now from there, we also, if we turn this sideways, we do have a boarding ramp or like a boarding tube or whatever. So we could open this up, and you could actually have a character sitting right here on the side. That's there. Trying to see all the other little things that we have here. I kind of played with this a little bit here today so I could try and figure all the little things out here. There is another one on the other side. And what I was trying to figure out is exactly how do we get this up? Because you can hold that and that's on there pretty good. But I did kind of learn if I pop it up from the back, then it comes up. So it does have a tab on the front, so it keeps it from wanting to just pull up. And it has 2 tabs on the back to kind of lock it in there. So you do have to kind of pull a little harder than you might think. And on the inside here, this is done pretty good. What we don't really see is any actual beds or anything for them to sleep on or anything, but it is a meditation area here, so you can actually get some characters in here. So we do have that. So if you want them to sit down in there or whatever, or they can stand and walk around in here, we do have that available. The only thing is like I said, we don't have any bed, sleeping area or anything here that I could actually just have them sleep in. And looking around in here, trying to get this, so hopefully you guys can see this. It looks like there's supposed to be doors or whatever to go to some other area. Although, I think when I remember watching the show, it almost looked like the inside was a lot bigger than what the ship looked like it really was. But maybe it's just me. I'm not 100% certain. So, just kind of throwing that out there. All right, snapping that in. Once we get that snapped on there, then it holds really nice. And like I said, it does hold good on there. So, and then this, if you remember from the show or if you didn't watch it, this was an entry hatch. So they could actually come out and then they could do whatever. As well as this being a walkway through here so you can actually get to the rear gunner. Although, honestly, there's not a lot of room, so you're kind of crawling in there. That's kind of narrow in there, so you're not going to have a fun time trying to get into that rear gunner spot, but it is there. So I do like the idea. And then looking at here, now we do have the 3 or 4 engine pieces. You know, there's a part of me that almost thought it showed that it lit up or something, but I don't see anything on the back of the box for that. So I guess I'm completely wrong there. Just trying to see if there's any other play feature there to really say. Now, I will say back here, it looks like, and I watched it one time through, but I don't really remember. It does look like there are cannons. So we do have what looks to be 4 rear-facing cannons, as well as the turret gunner. And in the front, as we swing this all the way around, on the port and starboard side, we have cannons sitting here. So as this flips around, those cannons are going to go up and down, but they're still going to be in the same spot. So, and that looks like that's the only cannons that we have in the front. So it is a nice size ship. It is a heftier ship. I think it has great potential for any kids that are interested in it. Even if it's, you know, I always like just having all the different ships I can get my hands on in that regard. And I find them fun and exciting, even if, you know, I don't always agree with some of the series or whatever. It's still always interesting to get the ships. I didn't think Ahsoka was too bad, but I think that there was things that they could have maybe done with the show personally. But, you know, that's my silly take on it. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just my silly take on it. But the ship here is pretty decent, especially, like I said, because we do have a landing hatch here. And actually, one of the things I should probably see, I'm going to do this if I can. That hatch is right there, and you could I'm looking here. This does actually go in, and there's a hole there, so you could actually kind of walk up and into the ship, except that that hatch is closed. So just keeping it in that regard. And it looks like this keeps flipping it up. So, and of course we have our landing gear to go out, and then there we are. All right. With that, thank you so very much for joining me. It's always wonderful having you here. I know this is a little different take because we're kind of reviewing some of the toys, which, yeah, it's a lot of fun to do. I know some people aren't interested in it as much as others, but you know what? These are current toys that are out right now. The ships always fascinate me. I always like a lot of the science fiction for those reasons. And it's fun just being able to kind of show them and say, hey, you know, is it a good investment? Not a bad investment. $30 is quite a bit of money for a lot of people. You know, and here we are. I was fortunate. I kind of got some of these on sale. So I got a couple. And the fact that I have other ones that I could compare them with, and that's why I got them. So that way I could try and show you the goods, the bads, the indifference and all that. So with that, thank you so very much for joining me. Happy to have you hear all these videos that we do. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.